On one side of the educational spectrum, you have 50 minutes of identical, silent reading, where half the class completely disengages. On the other extreme, imagine an unstructured field trip where students run wild and no actual learning occurs. These failures highlight the core operational problem in education. Every single classroom contains a massive, unavoidable gap in student ability and comprehension levels. The industry's standard solution to this problem is called differentiated instruction. This is the practice of adapting a single lesson to cater to the distinct needs of all learners simultaneously. This diagram shows how teachers traditionally survive this mandate by grouping methods into a strict hierarchy: Category C for rigid tasks, Category B for moderate ones, and Category A for highly flexible, student-led activities. This creates an obvious assumption. To succeed, an educator believes they must completely abandon traditional Category C methods and exclusively assign Category A tasks. But this binary categorization is a trap. Judging a teaching tool purely by its format is a dangerous illusion that ultimately stalls a student's progression. To see why, we first have to look at classic Category C methods. These are your standard reading assignments, multiple-choice tests, and passively watching videos. Mechanically, these traditional methods fail because they are one-size-fits-all systems. They passively deliver information to everyone at the exact same pace, offering zero support for struggling learners and zero challenge for advanced ones. Compare this to classic Category A methods, like student presentations and open-ended discovery experiments. These succeed because the student takes total ownership of the content. They build independent problem-solving skills by choosing their own presentation medium, whether they decide to use AI tools, design digital graphics, or build physical posters. While these extreme examples seem to validate the strict ABC ranking system, relying entirely on the surface-level format of a task ignores the hidden mechanics of how learning actually happens. The rules of this hierarchy break down entirely when we introduce the execution variable. Take watching a video. By itself, it is a classic Category C activity, but you can change its impact entirely by adding a targeted follow-up task. This diagram shows what happens when we apply a structure called the 3-2-1 activity. Students write down 3 things they learned, 2 things they want to know more about, and 1 question they still have, forcing active engagement. That specific structure instantly elevates the video from a C to an A. Every student engages with the material, and the activity accommodates them at their individual level of understanding. Conversely, an immersive Category A activity, like a field trip, collapses if the execution fails. Without pre-visit preparation and post-visit reflection, a field trip degrades into a mere fun outing. It drops straight down to a Category C. Finally, look at mid-tier tasks, like independent research and standard worksheets. By simply injecting tiered scaffolding, which means providing temporary support structures like specific reference links and guided questions, these basic assignments elevate into highly effective Category A activities. A teaching tool's effectiveness is completely fluid. Execution dictates the outcome entirely, not the medium itself. A teacher's structure and execution determine the lesson's impact, regardless of the specific task assigned. There is no such thing as an inherently differentiated worksheet, video, or reading assignment. Differentiation is an active process performed by the educator's design, not a passive property printed on the classroom materials. To do this, educators focus on altering 3 specific pillars of their lessons: the product, which is what students create, the process, which is how they learn, or the content, which is what they engage with. Effective instruction relies on redesigning traditional tools with clear rubrics, explicit grading criteria that set exact expectations, student choice, and scaffolded support to change how students interact with the world.